10 powerful decisions to make the moment you hit $100,000 net worth. There's a moment in every wealth-building journey when the game completely changes. It's the day your net worth crosses $100,000. It's not just a nice round number or a reason to celebrate. It's a genuine inflection point. The choices you make in the weeks and months after hitting six figures will determine whether you drift to $200,000 over the next decade or rocket past $1 million and beyond. Most people pop the champagne, relax, and accidentally sabotage their momentum. The smart ones treat $100,000 as the starting line, not the finish line. My name's Kyle, and today I'm giving you the exact 10 decisions that separate the people who plateau forever from the ones who build serious, life-changing wealth. Decision number 1 is the most important because it's psychological. You have to graduate from accumulation mode into acceleration mode. Below $100,000, you're in the trenches. Every single dollar saved feels painful, and progress is slow. The moment you cross $100,000, something magical starts to happen. At a realistic 8% average return, that $100,000 is now generating $8,000 a year in passive growth all by itself. That's real money working for you while you sleep. Your mindset has to shift from, can I ever become financially free, to how fast can I get to the next milestone? This mental switch unlocks completely different behavior. You start hunting for tax efficiency. You optimize allocations, you eliminate every tiny leak, and you begin measuring your progress in compounding velocity instead of just savings rate. Charlie Munger famously said, "The first $100,000 is a bitch to get, but after that, it's just math." He's 100% right. Your new job is to make the math work harder by making smarter decisions on a bigger base. Decision 2. If you still have any high-interest debt, credit cards, personal loans, anything above 6 to 7%, wipe it out immediately, even if it means pausing new investments for a couple of months. Carrying an 18% credit card balance while your investments earn 10% is the same as lighting money on fire. Paying off $10,000 at 18% interest is identical to earning a guaranteed, tax-free 18% return. Nothing in the public markets comes close. At $100,000 net worth, you finally have the cash flow and discipline to finish this off once and for all. The psychological freedom of being completely debt-free, except maybe a low-rate mortgage, is impossible to overstate. And every dollar that used to go to interest can now compound for you instead. Decision 3. Start treating tax-advantaged accounts like the cheat codes they are. Max out your 401k, Roth, or traditional IRA, HSA, any employer plans, whatever you have access to. For 2025, the limits are roughly $23,500 for a 401k, $7,000 for an IRA, and $4,300 individual or $8,550 family for an HSA plus catch-up contributions if you're over 50. Money that grows tax-deferred or completely tax-free over decades is worth hundreds of thousands more than the same dollars in a regular brokerage account, a single $7,000. Roth IRA contribution growing at 10% for 30 years becomes over $122,000 completely tax-free. That same contribution in a taxable account might leave you with only $85.90 after capital gains taxes. Do that every year across multiple accounts, and you easily leaving $500,000 or more on the table if you ignore this step. Decision 4. Upgrade your emergency fund from 3 to 6 months of expenses to a full 6 to 12 months. This isn't about being overly conservative. It's about buying optionality and unbreakable risk tolerance. When you know you have a year of living expenses in a high-yield savings account earning 4 to 5%, you can weather any market crash without selling, take bold career risks, start a side business, or negotiate fearlessly because you're never desperate. That confidence compounds into every other financial decision you make. Decision 5. Take a hard look at your asset allocation. If you're under 40 with decades ahead, putting 90 to 100% in stocks is still usually the mathematically optimal choice. Volatility is your friend when time is on your side. But once the numbers get big enough that a 50% crash would actually hurt to look at, It's reasonable to introduce 10 to 20% into bonds, REITs, or international equities to dampen the ride without destroying long-term returns. The goal isn't to go conservative. It's to protect your psyche so you never become the person who panic sells at the bottom. Decision 6, and this is the one that hurts the most. Aggressively resist lifestyle inflation and instead push your savings rate even higher. This is the single biggest behavioral difference between people who become millionaires and people who stay upper middle class forever. If you were saving 20% to reach $100,000, bump it to 30, 40, even 50% now. Keep the same car, the same apartment, the same vacations, and funnel every raise, bonus, and tax refunds straight into investments. The math is brutal in your favor. That single choice can easily be worth $2 to $3 million over a lifetime. Delayed gratification at this stage is the highest leverage decision on the entire list. Decision 7. Start exploring real estate and alternative investments. With $100,000, you finally have enough for a solid 20 to 25% down payment on a rental property or a private real estate syndication. Real estate gives you leverage, tax advantages, inflation protection, and cash flow that isn't perfectly correlated with the stock market. You don't have to go Elon, but ignoring this asset class completely is leaving diversification and returns on the table. Even a modest allocation, say 70% stocks, 20% real estate, 10% alternatives or side business equity, can dramatically accelerate wealth while reducing risk. Decision 8. Redirect a chunk of your new momentum into yourself. The best return you can get at this stage is often not in the market, it's in your own earning power. Spending $5,000, $15,000 on courses, certifications, coaching, masterminds, or a strategic career pivot that boosts your income from $80,000 to $120,000 or $150,000 to $250,000 has an ROI that blows away almost any public market investment, and it compounds every single year. Higher income plus disciplined expenses is the fastest legal way to financial independence. Decision 9. Automate everything. Set up every contribution minus 401k, IRA, brokerage, HSA on autopilot. Automate transfers to your emergency fund, bill payments, credit card payoffs, everything. Automation removes emotion, prevents timing mistakes, and eliminates the 2 to 4% annual drag that most manual investors suffer from behavioral errors. Set the system once, review quarterly, tweak annually, and let it run. Decision 10. Immediately define your next milestone and put a date on it. $100K gives $250,000 is the logical next step, then $500,000, then $1 million. Reverse engineer exactly how much you need to invest each month at a realistic return to hit that number. Write it down, track it monthly, and tell someone for accountability. Without a clear target and deadline, motivation fades and most people stall out forever. With a target, $100,000 becomes a launch pad instead of a tombstone. Hitting $100,000 net worth is an incredible achievement. But it's not the destination, it's the moment the game starts getting really fun. These 10 decisions are the framework that turns 6 figures into 7 and 8 figures. Pick the 3 that resonate most with you right now and implement them this week. Drop a comment and tell me which 3 you're starting with and why. I read every single one. The next video we're going to map out exactly how to get from $100,000 to $250,000 in under 5 years using everything we just covered. Your $100,000 is the foundation. Now go build the empire. I'll see you in the next one.